Hello, welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Devecioglu, your host. I'm welcoming you to our season 2, episode 40. So, our episodes are getting more and more, and our audience and our YouTube subscribers are getting more as well. So, we truly appreciate your support. Today, we'll be talking about sustainability, compliance management, quality in the US. So, these are important subjects for businesses, and we have a guest for this important subject. Let's welcome our guest today. We have, let's see, all right, that's great. So we have Cem Onuş with us from DECRA US. Cem, welcome to the podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here. How are you, Kevin?
Good, good. Thank you very much. And yourself, how is your week going so far?
Very good. Good to see you. It's a busy week as always, but today I'm in my home office, not traveling, so perfect time to be doing a podcast with ABP.
Thank you very much for being with us. We have a lot to cover today and a lot to learn from. Also, just to our audience, you can also see a QR code on our screen today. This is something new. We keep getting requests from you, from our audience, to get in touch with us. Always email is great, americanbusinesspodcast at gmail.com. But during our streaming, you can always scan the QR code and you can just fill the form and it'll just come to us directly for your feedback. Also, to be our guest speaker in the future. All right, great. John, why don't we just get started? As a start, would you please introduce yourself and your company to our audience?
Absolutely, Kevin. First of all, it's my pleasure to be on ABP. Like I said, you and I have known each other for some time, and I really like what you're doing with putting together a podcast to educate the business world on many different topics. For the audience, my name is Sam Onus. I'm the vice president of our for DECRA. I'm the vice president of our ASI team, that is audit, sustainability, and industrial inspections. At DECRA, I manage our Americas region for these services. I've been with the company for going on my 18th year. And DECRA, for some of you that may not be familiar, we're a focused company on delivering high quality services in the realm of sustainability, security, and security and safety for our customers around the world. Our mission is really to help organizations meet rigorous quality and industrial standards and regulations while optimizing their performance. So that's a little bit about me, Kevin. Back to you.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Well, so one of the popular questions that we have in our podcast is, how did you choose your current career?
Yeah, I don't know if I chose my current career, but I happened to fall into this industry and fell in love with it. I got recruited into the company, like I said, about 18 years ago. But my background was, in the early days of my career or my life, I started off in manufacturing. I worked for a company that built and continues to build flight simulators in Pennsylvania, a very small manufacturing company that's been around for 50 years. And I started off in their stock room, moved around different positions, and ended up becoming a purchasing manager at the age of 19, 20, so really early in my career. But it was a very eye-opening moment. This is where I learned the importance of quality systems and compliance-related issues due to the fact that we were building high-precision pilot selection or flight simulators that were used by government entities, air forces, Navy around the world. And when I got the recruiting call to the company that I'm currently working with, it was really an eye-opening moment to learn about international standards and to help companies implement rigor within their organization using the certification as a tool. This is ISO certification, your typical ISO 9001 for quality, or different standards that are out there for environmental or specific industry standards like aerospace or automotive, obviously. Um, but whatever you're doing, whether it's manufacturing or service, there are standards out there that can help you as a guideline, as a recipe for success. And when I started digging into these standards, I really fell in love with the fact that it's ubiquitous. It's a global way of operating, and many companies depend on these standards to differentiate themselves. So I chose it as a career to continue the path that was in front of me, and I saw it as an opportunity. And here we are, 17 years later. I still wake up every day with a passion to do the right things for our organization and also help others do the right things through the mechanism of management system certification.
Yeah, this is really inspiring. So you have decades of experience, and for our audience to understand a little bit more, if that's okay, can you tell us about your work a little bit more? What are the exciting and challenging parts of your work on daily basis?
Yeah, of course, you have to step out of the day-to-day sometimes from being a firefighter and putting out problems and start thinking strategically. But to answer your question, what's exciting and important on what I do day to day is I lead our teams. I have a team that is very passionate about what they do. And I lead them to take on new challenges and meeting and exceeding our customer expectations to ensure compliance and regulatory frameworks and helping the team to be more resilient, building out processes. This really has been, my passion for the last several years, looking at our processes at the core level, rolling up our sleeves as a team and looking at how do we introduce, digitalization? How do we introduce automation and workflows into what we do to improve our services at the end of the day, to improve how we deliver our services, and also improving the way that we work within our organizations, right? The more tools that we use, the easier our processes are, the more engaged our staff is. And the more engaged our staff is, and the more easier their work is, they can help our customers much more at the end of the day and be more customer focused, customer oriented. And that's for me on its own is incredibly fulfilling.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is really, really exciting to know. So let's talk about compliance management and quality management a little bit, if that's okay.
Sure.
Because you have decades of experience, and with DECRA, you are engaging with many different companies, manufacturers, and other companies, organizations, and institutions. So can you tell us about the latest trends in quality management, compliance management, and sustainability?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember we did a similar webinar. I guess it was right before COVID or during COVID.
Yes, you're right.
So a similar topic. One of the biggest trends, obviously, is integration of technology, and it's not new, right? Especially in the U.S. Manufacturing base, the use of technology and using bleeding edge technology has always kept us in a competitive situation globally. But today, it goes without saying that many companies are, pushing towards using AI and machine learning to predict quality issues before they happen, right? And there is also a growing emphasis on sustainability and ensuring that compliance of processes align with environmental and social governance goals. These are also not new, but from where I sit and what I've been looking at, it has significantly accelerated within the last, of course, with AI within the last 3 years. with machine learning, probably last decade or two. And we're seeing that with our organizations that we do business with, right? We have a very broad spectrum of companies that we do business with. It could be a small um, startup that has a great idea but uses international standards to be in compliance and to be in the supply chain of big OEMs or global operators. And also on the other end of the spectrum, we deal with enterprise level customers who are developing high tech, developing high precision manufacturing, and these are very prominent names. Fortune 100, Fortune 500 organizations that use management systems standards, that use training, that use inspections from us. And again, it goes back to doing the right things. And right now, doing the right things seems to be incorporating technology wherever we can. The technology being, in particular, AI, and also making sure that when we introduce technology, we're also looking at what kind of an impact are we having in the environment that we're operating, and making sure that it is conducted in a sustainable fashion. Sustainable meaning we're not making an impact that's detrimental to the neighborhoods that we live in, to the people that we're engaged with, whether they're direct customers or stakeholders that are impacted by our operations.
Yes. So the follow-up question would be AI. So we talk about AI a lot in our podcast, and it is changing our lives individually as well as in terms of our businesses. So I like to learn about your take. What is your take on AI? So how AI will continue changing our lives? You can link it to your industry as well if you like. That's fine. And also, will AI replace jobs in the future?
Great question. AI has been fascinating, and when we're talking about AI, in my review, it's having a relationship with ChatGPT and the similar tools that are out there, and what you can do with these relationships. And I call it relationships because it's not another technology, right? It's not a tool that just does one thing. It's a more of an iterative process that we need to get accustomed to. And what I do with, not only myself, I'm getting educated as a learner in the front seat, front row, listening to podcasts, taking courses online, and talking to individuals about how they're using AI and how they're using AI within their personal lives or within their work environments. I've just been fascinated by it, and yeah, it is absolutely going to change the way the world operates. And that's not me saying it. This is the experts out there who are building these large LLMs and large tools that are going to be utilized and deployed globally. And every single day, every single week, it seems like there's something new that's coming out. And we need to be nimble, as individuals, as business leaders. We need to be nimble with regards to what's out there, what's changing, and how do we incorporate what's out there into our day-to-day work in our organizations. So at the end of the day, AI is definitely going to be a huge impact on business, improving efficiencies, reducing errors, and most importantly, providing deeper insights through data analysis. Right? We can do data analysis like we've never been able to before. It's in our fingertips. And it's upon us as business leaders to take up this challenge to utilize these tools in different ways to get better information out of the data that's available to us, and to make really quick analysis and decisions in accordance to the data that we have. while AI may not be able to automate some tasks, right? I do believe that it will also create new opportunities and roles for all of us. Technology has always been throughout the decades. Going back to Industrial Revolution, has always been faced with fear that, oh my God, robots are going to take our jobs. And there's that discussion currently, obviously. And yes, there are going to be uh, pockets and areas of skills that are going to be significantly improved upon and somewhat eliminated in a sense. But that's not a bad thing, for us. Simplistically, us humans who are not connected to machines, that is not a bad thing. It gives us the freedom to be more creative. One thing that AI cannot do is the innovation and creativity that humans bring to the table. So if you are not working on tasks that are highly repetitive, highly, um, you know, less important in a sense, where it can be replicated by an AI bot with very simple, instructions. I think that's better for humanity in the long run. So, I think again, AI will absolutely make a big impact, but it's more about evolving job functions rather than outright replacing them. And the key is to, in my mind, adapt and learn to work alongside artificial intelligence. So have artificial intelligence as your co-worker, have AI as a wise friend that you can always rely on. Of course, everything should be taken with a grain of salt and with some human intervention. But today, you can see examples of like, hey, we have a CEO that is an AI agent. We have AI robots that are doing different tasks. So, I think there should always be a human intervention or human involved within the chain. But let's enhance the human capabilities alongside AI, and I think we'll all be better off.
Yes, AI is definitely a fascinating subject, and we can easily talk about it for hours. Also,
Absolutely.
yes, very, very exciting. Yeah, and to your point, AI is not new. I been to different education events myself about AI, and they talk about 1950s as a start of AI from the beginning. So that was really also fascinating.
Sure.
So and to your point about manufacturing, for example, how AI will impact on manufacturing. Will AI will replace everyone? There is going to be just robots making all the manufacturing. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, we had Robert Kaufner from Designtronics Inc., a manufacturer, and he's a fan of robots and bots. So I asked him the same question: will AI replace jobs in manufacturing? His answer was no as well, because humans will always be needed in different forms. Machines cannot take over everything, all the operations. At least right now, we'll see how the future will fall. But then, just nowadays, at least, it's not possible. Also, we actually covered ISO 9001 before in our podcast, and especially on YouTube, we see all the analytics, right, in terms of what our audience actually are really interested, what they are really spending time on, which videos. And ISO 9001 is really a popular subject, especially coupled with quality management and compliance. Also now comes with the sustainability and technology compliance management. These are really popular subjects, meaning businesses and entrepreneurs and professionals. That's our typical audience profile. They are really interested in learning about this. So I'm glad that you are sharing your insight. Just a follow-up question. How about AI? AI will reflect, will make an impact on, say, quality management or compliance management, both on the day-to-day practices, also for certification. Do you think it's gonna make some impact on it?
Yeah, absolutely. As organizations start, introducing technology into processes and procedures, it will absolutely make an impact, and hopefully in a better way, right? Why do we do audits? It's to ensure that people and processes are working in harmony. You create processes and procedures, and you ideate something in your mind, and then you go out to do it in the real world. And of course, if you have a highly automated process, from beginning to the end, quality control is already baked into the process. But if you're dealing with a legacy manufacturing processes that have been around for sometimes 20, 30, 40 years, which is not unusual, we're introducing technology to older processes and procedures. And so, these older processes and procedures will absolutely benefit from things like IoT, things like data analysis through AI models, and even as simple as let's talk about predictive maintenance. If you have an older manufacturing facility or multiple facilities, and you start introducing predictive maintenance on your equipment, it could go a long way by making sure that you're a sustainable or more of a resilient organization that's going to be around for the next 20, 30 years. And that's all due to being able to introduce technology to your operations and being able to read out the data that's coming out from it and make timely decisions, so that you can stay and maintain your competitiveness.
Yes, so some of our audience, they know the enterprise business software and manufacturing software is my expertise area, and you just mentioned predictive maintenance is definitely my popular subject, my favorite, I have to say. So I'm glad that you mentioned it. And to your point, having the predictive maintenance in place saves thousands, millions of dollars for manufacturers. It's
Sure.
because you literally eliminate even the possibility of machine downtime,
Yeah.
and downtime is unacceptable for manufacturers in any way. It is because if you cannot deliver your goods in a timely manner, it also costs you. Customers will charge you back, and all of a sudden you are in, not only you are losing money, you are also tarnishing your business reputation in the marketplace. So it's definitely a big no-no. But
Absolutely.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, and that predictive maintenance conversation is, I believe it's a one podcast itself. So that's really exciting subject.
And going back to your comment about something like ISO 9001, which has been really the prominent standard internationally for quality management systems, and you can use it in a manufacturing environment and also in service environment. It really puts it's a very generic standard. It's a quality standard, but it really puts a framework or a recipe into the business's DNA, so that whatever you're doing, whatever got you where you are to be successful, can have a longevity, right? Establishing a way of working or a culture of working that's around quality, and following the rules of the ISO really gets you to a point where it's an operational system for your business, and you're doing things in a sequence and interaction where you're going to have predictable results. And when we look at companies that have ISO certification, we're looking for continual improvement in some of the things that we just talked about around AI, predictive maintenance, technology, IoT, machine learning, and even climate change, right? Around sustainability. These are all things that we're looking at organization. Are you doing the right things? Are you doing the right things on a continued basis, right? We have companies, I'm not going to lie, we have companies that go for ISO certification because it's just hey, it's a license to operate, and we really don't want to bother with it. And And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have companies that take these standards and really use it as a tool that makes them more competitive, and to ingrain culture of quality, safety, environmental awareness, and many different business objectives.
Yes, this is very educational. I like to shift our conversation towards your career path, if that's okay. Have you had any role models? Can you share some role models with us that you have had in your career journey?
That's a great question, and I've had quite a few role models throughout my career and journey, and some of them are within industry, some of them are outside of the industry, but I also really follow people who teach, people who have written on various topics. If we're talking about business, I'm going to go back to my core of reading about Peter Drucker, right, and other business professors in the world that have made an impact, and continue to go fall back on those type of readings to improve what I do and have a core basis. But for in general, what I'm looking for is who I admire. It's leaders who prioritize integrity, continuous improvement, and more importantly, innovation. And today, over the holidays, I did finally get to listen to. I didn't read it, but I did get to listen to Elon Musk's book. It was quite a lot, but when you're in the holiday break, it's quite easy to do when you're out for a walk or a run. And I also follow leaders like Sam Altman, right? I mean, if you're not familiar with Sam Altman today, you should be. And all the things that is happening around AI and all the other leaders that are pushing AI to the next level are really interesting to me to watch and learn. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a particular role model that I look up to every single day, but I have had many different ones over the years, and I continue to be fascinated by some of the things that the current business leaders do on a day-to-day basis, and the unimaginable things that they have achieved.
How about some lessons learned in your career journey that you can share with us? You have decades of experience, and if you can share some lessons learned with our audience, that'd be great.
Yeah, many lessons learned over the years.
No doubt.
But some of the biggest lessons I learned is the importance of being able to adapt and being open to change. I think that's really core and key. In the field of quality management, especially, it's always evolving. So staying curious and willing to learn it is really key. And also never really underestimate the power of good communication, because you may have great ideas, but you really need to be able to timely and effectively communicate your ideas in order to get them across to your team, your stakeholders, your customers, your managers, and whoever it may be. So at the end of the day, critical piece is effective communication, which is, in my mind, it's crucial in building trust and being able to drive change.
What are your biggest passions and interests outside of work?
I wish I had more time for things like hobbies or something like that, but I don't. Outside of work, I'm really passionate about just maintaining a good, work-life balance, whatever that means for most. But for me, it really is actually just unplugging and having a workout schedule. When I'm working, and I'm very focused on what I do, whether it's attending team meetings or being with our customers or attending conferences. It's very time consuming and it can be monotonous, right? And we're all doing it. We're running from meeting to meeting, and whether it's uh, Teams call or um, meetings that we have to attend. Uh, you know, I like to unplug, and when I unplug, I'm usually listening to my podcasts, learning something new. I like LinkedIn Learning. I watch and listen to audiobooks these days because it's really easy to do with technology, right? Just click the download button on a podcast or on a book, and within seconds you have the whole book within your fingertips. And while I'm out for a walk or a run or at the gym, I'm usually listening to something to keep my brain busy and learning something new. And it really helps me stay, balanced and brings fresh perspectives to my personal life and my professional life. Right? It's a really easy way to get ideas and bring them into your environment. Not very exciting, but that's my after hour stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Well, so our full name in our actually podcast is the American Business Podcast for the Next Generation. So sharing educational, informative content with today's and next generation professionals is our key mission actually. So I'm glad that we have this conversation today with you. So it was actually very informative. Also, I like to uh, get your viewpoint and some career advice, if possible, for those who are thinking about getting into certification, quality, or compliance management field or fields, I must say. Do you have any career advice for them?
Yeah, great question. Um, it's a general career advice, and it might be a little bit cliche, but my advice would be to just stay curious and proactive. Um, you know, build a strong foundation in the basic systems thinking, whether it's quality or environmental or sustainability, and also be very open to technologies and methodologies that are dominant in those sectors. And last but not least, I think it would be really important for future leaders, people that are, establishing their careers, is networking and finding mentors in the field that you're interested in. You know, go belong to associations or organizations that are doing something about the particular topic that you have a keen interest in, and get involved. Go show up at those conferences, listen, talk to others who are doing things, and when your time is right, be in front of the room. Educate others on what you have learned within that field, to continue to push the momentum. Right, we're all part of our little village of the world, and we can all contribute with everything that we do. So if you're passionate about something like quality and quality systems or manufacturing or service industry, um, pick an area that excites you, and then try to stick with it as long as you can to make an impact. I think that's really the bottom line. Find an area that you like, um, network within that environment, within that business realm, and try to make as much impact as you can as an individual.
Before we end our podcast interview, what is the best way for our audience to learn about your organization?
Yeah, the easiest is to go on to our website, which is www.dekra, D-E-K-R-A, which is on the screen, dekra.us. We have a variety of different services that we offer to our customers. We talked a lot today about management system certification, but we're also a training organization for management systems. So all of the ISO standards that we talked about, whether it's quality, environmental, or sustainability topics. We do offer training courses throughout the country, whether it's on site at a city near you. I think we're over 20 cities in the country that we offer training. These are in-person trainings to different international standards. We also offer our ISO certification to organizations all across the country. We have a very strong base of very well qualified auditors that can help you improve your business, as well as auditing to the different standards within supply chains. So what we call second party audits. So it may not be related to any international standards, but you may have a need for, hey, I have a change in my vendor or supplier, and that could be a very hot topic these days. We could be your boots on the ground, eyes and ears for the new suppliers that you're bringing into the fold to make sure that you're doing business with reputable companies that are going to help you continue, delivering the services or the products that you're looking to deliver to your customers.
Sam, thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule. Thank you,
Kevin. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your professional insights with us, with all of our audience. That's priceless. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye now. Thanks. Well, to our audience and to our listeners, it was another educational podcast episode with Sam Onus with us from DECRA US. And as you learn about some insights about compliance, quality management, as well as sustainability, these are important subjects, very popular subjects as well, that we got some insights. Of course, there are many things to learn about, and when we look at overall, it is important. And we also had a chance to learn from Sam his insight about the impact of AI, especially on businesses. So that was also very educational for us. Well, on our podcast, we just passed 38,000 YouTube subscribers, so we truly appreciate your support. If you haven't done so, please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. That's American Business. That's American Podcast, American Business Podcast. In YouTube, and you can just type American Business Podcast ABP, and we'll just come to your screen. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. It means a lot to us, and we hear you, we listen to you for that. You can always send us an email. It's easy to get in touch with us, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We also put a QR code right here. You can scan this QR code. It'll bring you a form. You can fill the form. You can share your thoughts, feedback. If you have a subject that you like us to cover, you like us to bring a guest about, you can also send us an email or just scan the code and fill the form. It'll just come to us directly. We are very responsive. We definitely welcome your feedback and your insights with us. What you like to hear, what you like to learn in this podcast. This podcast is for you. That's a business podcast. That's educational, informative, and we look at our podcast as a business community. By subscribing on YouTube, by following our business podcast, you become a part of this business community, the American Business Podcast business community. So we truly appreciate your support in that sense. Would you like to be a guest in our podcast? Do you know someone who would like to be a guest? You can also send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com, or simply you can scan the QR code, fill the form, share your thoughts, tell us who may be a great candidate as a professional, as a guest speaker. We'll be able to be in touch with you. We'll reply, and also we'll follow up, and let's see how it's going to go. Nevertheless, it's very important that we hear from you and we interact. And if you go to our website, americanpodcast.tv, you'll also see our comment schedule, who is actually scheduled to be our guest, who will be interviewed on our podcast. You can also learn more about our podcast as well on our YouTube, on our website. We keep it updated on weekly basis, so it's very important. Also, we have a new sponsor, IP Vanish VPN, and I use IP Vanish as well. It's a solid system if you are looking for a VPN. IP Vanish is a great choice. I also put their website on the screen. There's a dedicated link that they sent us for us to share with our audience. So if you visit that link, you can get more information. If you need a VPN, you can also subscribe through that link as well. So I just wanted to share it with you and make it available for you for your consideration. Well, great. It was actually another great The American Business Podcast episode. Thank you so much for being with us. As I mentioned earlier, if you haven't done so, please go to our YouTube channel, the American Business Podcast ABP YouTube channel, and subscribe. And we truly appreciate your support. I'm looking forward to seeing you at our coming The American Business Podcast episode. Thank you very much and have a great day.